Hi, Tony Morell from the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast. I think tomorrow's fight prediction, for me, I think Conor Benn stops Chris Eubank Jr. I think round 3, round 4, I just think he's just going to catch him, he's going to land. I think he's just going to be at him from the off. And yeah, I think Conor Benn will stop Chris Eubank Jr. Have a good one.
So I feel like the fight tomorrow against Eubank and Benn is going to be a Eubank round 10 knockout.
I also think Eubank, but I'm going to go with round 7.
Hi, this is Darren Aston here for Search Out a Lot of Boxing. This is the prediction for Eubank versus Benn. This is Friday afternoon, lots of controversy today. Eubank Jr. missing the weight. Will he make it for the next one with the rehydration clause of no more than 170? My original pick was Eubank Jr. on points. I was thinking of changing it today after what we've heard, but I'm going to stick with my original. Eubank Jr. on points. I just think he's going to have too much experience, fought too better calibre of opponent than Conor Benn, and I just think it is going to go the distance, contrary to a lot of people believe. So Eubank Jr. points win.
Hello, this is Chris from Boxing Bros UK. Just doing a quick video for Last Bell Boxing, Carl. So basically the Eubank Jr. Conor Benn fight, for me, I just think that Eubank Jr. is just going to be too big, too strong, too experienced, and it's just, and I just think Conor Benn's going to come out fast. That's why he's got the 18-foot ring. He's going to come out fast. Maybe he might win a few of the early rounds, but his power hasn't carried up from what we've seen. So we can only go off what we've seen so far. His power at 154 at light middleweight, his last 2 fights, he's been landing, and he hasn't been stopping anyone, and he's been landing clean, people flush on the chin many times in both of his fights, and especially that Dobson, and didn't put a dent in him. He won the fight, but he's not going to be able to do that to Eubank Jr. because Eubank Jr. is not just going to wait for him to finish teeing off on him and not do anything back. Eubank Jr. is gonna, and he loves it sometimes when people are coming at him. He loves backing up, being slippery, and a bit and landing like he's So I just think, just for me, Eubank Jr. too big, too strong, too experienced. Conor Benn's not got enough power at middleweight, and he's not done anything anyway, really, in boxing to show that he can move up 2 weight classes and beat someone. I'm not saying Eubank Jr. is like a world beater, but he's a good fighter. He's up there, just below world level at least. And Conor Benn is nowhere near that, and he's moving up 2 weight classes, and it's just Eubank Jr. for me.
So just a quick one here for you, Carl, and all at Last Bell Boxing. I think the common consensus seems to be Chris Eubank Jr., doesn't it? His experience. Conor Benn coming up 2 weight divisions. Is his power going to carry up? How is his power after the eggs? I'm going to go slightly against the grain here a little bit, and I'm overthinking this, and I've got a few predictions wrong recently. But the rehydration limit worries me a bit for Chris Eubank. He did look a bit gaunt to me. It'd be interesting to see it, the weigh-in today, how he is. The first Liam Smith fight, is the punch resistance going to be there? He's in his mid-30s now. Conor Benn, the younger guy. Nigel Benn spamming all these stories about him putting skull on his arse, and I don't know, sparring Denzel Bentley, clearly good sparring, and it's a little bit kind of, not what you do in boxing, is it? And his dad's coming out, and I don't know. I think I'm being sold a little bit. I think but I'm basing this on, if Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't just take the hit, I think he's going to get sort of fined $1 million if he comes over. But if I was him, I would just come over. But if he does adhere to the limit, I'm going to go for a Conor Benn win, and I think he might stop Chris Eubank Jr. If you're going to push me to a round, I would probably go rounds 4 to 6. I don't think this goes the distance, so I'm going to go Conor Benn TKO rounds 4 to 6. It's may age like milk, but that's what I'm going with.
Hey there, everybody. What a week we have, or a few weeks we have actually in boxing, but specifically for the family name, if you like, Benn versus Eubank. Whatever you think about the fight itself, we're all intrigued for the result. I think, you know, given that Conor hasn't even won a area title, and that Eubank has been in there with some world-class operators, Conor Benn absolutely starts as the huge underdog, and you would expect that the old madness tricks will come out from Chris Eubank Jr. However, I'm going to predict slightly different. I'm going to say that Conor Benn is going to be relentless. I'm not going to say he's going to have power behind his punches, but he's going to be relentless for the first 6 rounds, and he's going to do enough in that 6 rounds then to nick a couple of rounds potentially in the back straight, and I see him potentially getting a split decision or a decision of some kind. I think I'm probably one of the few that feels that way, but it's the only way that I see Conor winning. I don't see him knocking him out. I think Eubank's too smart, and we'll see what that original fight, that Liam Smith fight, actually has taken out of Eubank's legs. But intriguing. It's going to be a great fight. Big shout out to Last Bell Boxing.
What's up, England? It's your boy James Hagler. I'm on Last Bell Boxing, giving my prediction on Saturday night's fight with Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. I'm picking Eubank Jr. for the simple reason is that he's a seasoned vet. He's been around boxing a long time. I watched his father fight, and I watched him fight, and I know one thing about Chris is Jr. He's a dedicated fighter. He comes in, he trains hard, just like Marvelous. So therefore, I'm picking him. And Conor Benn, I like Conor Benn. He's young. He comes to fight, but he keeps his hands down. I just don't really like fighters that do that. So it's just a matter of time before they get caught. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm going with your boy Chris Eubank Jr. on Saturday night's fight. Again, Last Bell Boxing. Watch sports.com. Watch James Howard Promotion. Watch. So I see you guys Saturday night, and let's go.
Hi everyone, it's Tom from Southbank City here with my big fight prediction for Saturday night for Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn. Of course, you can watch the fight with us live at Southbank Bar on Friar Lane, and we've got a lot booked in. It's going to be a big night for us, so looking forward to that. I think, you know, my brain says that it should be Chris Eubank Jr. that's the favourite for the fight. He's obviously naturally a bigger man, fought at a higher level, got a lot more experience. Obviously, there's a question mark now over his durability, his punch resistance. After the knockout to Liam Smith, I'm not too sure what that took out of him at this stage of his career. Conor Benn, obviously very hungry and angry, and he's going to want to get in there early and go for the knockout. I think the longer it goes, the more it favours Eubank. So yes, it is a fence that I'm sitting on, but I've been Chris Eubank most of the way up till now. Conor Benn was obviously knocking people out left, right and centre up until his misdemeanour, Eggate. Since then he's had a couple of fights that have been fairly unflattering. Not too sure why that might be. I don't know if there's anything to another story to be told there or not. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna while sat on the fence, I'm going to go for Chris Eubank Jr. purely based on size, experience, and the level of which he's operated at. But that's not to say that's necessarily who I want to win. But I think he's got to be the slight favourite going in. I think it's probably a 55-45 in his favour. So wherever you're watching the fight, enjoy it, but you'd be most welcome to watch it with us at the Southbank Bar. Cheers.
Oh, Carl, hope you're well. Predictions for Benn Eubank. Eubank's got to be too big for him, surely. But if it goes anywhere, if Benn wins, he'll win it first 3 rounds because he's going to come out hell for leather, isn't he? Eubank, the longer it goes on, Eubank's going to win. But there again, if Eubank bangs him out in one round, what's the point in this rematch in October? Saying that undercard's looking good anyway, so at least there'll be a bit of entertainment tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm going to go for Eubank. Probably about round 4.
Hi, it's Steve Spivak here. Just put my prediction in for this weekend's fight with Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn. My prediction is Eubank Jr. on points. Just think he's going to be the bigger, he's going to be the better boxer on the night. So there you go, that's my prediction. Eubank on points. Get your beers and snacks in and enjoy the fights.
So my prediction for Saturday will be round 7 for Eubank. I think the weight will be the issue with Ben, and maybe the experience of fighting at that level. So I think Eubank will have it on that basis.
Hey UK, are you ready for a fight? You guys are in for a special treat this weekend. Eubanks versus Benn. The saga continues, the rivalry continues. We saw amazing fights with their fathers. Now the next generation takes it to a new level. You can tell there's bad blood. When there's bad blood, there's a lot of emotions, a lot of feeling. So you guys are in for a treat. I'm excited, as you should be. In the end, we're gonna have a hell of a fight, but my heart and my mind says Conor Benn. Let's go, guys. Conor Benn by decision.